Bang, let's go. Rick Shiels, welcome to the Teed Up Golf Podcast. Big fan, the busiest man in Adelaide. How the hell are you, mate?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me on.
Mate, I'm a bit starstruck. Are you?
I am. Yeah, I am.
So we're down here at LIV Adelaide in the media centre with the man who's turned world golf on its head a couple of weeks ago, and it's been amazing, mate, to see you transform into this. The godfather of YouTube golf and golf content creation. We wouldn't do what we do without you. How's it been, mate?
It's been really good.
Yep.
It's been really good. It's been a hectic few months, as you might imagine.
Yep.
But since we've been on the road and filming content, I think it's become very clear to the audience kind of what this is going to look like moving forward and how big an opportunity it is.
Yep.
I'm really excited. I'm flying out on Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to sitting on the plane, flicking through my album roll from just these last 2 weeks, and picking out. I filmed with John Rahm. I filmed with the Fireballs. I filmed with Four Aces and DJ. Like, I've been out on the golf course with a couple of guys from the Stingers, and it's like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Like Whacking Neiman I filmed with last week. I mean, this is crazy access that I've managed to gain, and this is just the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think I'm really looking forward to kind of showing the audience of how exciting this opportunity is and how it's going to be great for the content.
Yeah, mate. So it feels like you're starting fresh, like with a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Joining LIV. Yeah. How's the mindset?
Yeah. Listen, I've been doing it for 13 years.
Far out. I'm still in high school.
And for the first time in a long time, this year it felt like a new year. Like sometimes years can kind of blend into each other a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I really felt like this year was like, right, let's reset things a little bit and let's go for it. With this exciting opportunity we've got. It felt like starting a new school almost. Meeting a lot of new people.
Yeah.
Getting through a few events. Obviously, Riyadh last week, and then here in Adelaide. I was really looking forward to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Wasn't looking forward to this heat today.
It's very hot. It's very
hot. But we're getting through it. But it's like, in my head, I wanted it to be as good as it has been, and it has been really good. Like, I want it to be embraced by the players and the teams, and they've embraced it. They kind of get it. They get YouTube golf, and they understand the power of it, and they've been wanting to film, and that's what's really exciting as well.
Yeah. So you've been like, what I've watched your videos so far, and since you've joined LIV, your team, you've got a bigger team around you now, a bit more in front of camera, asking you questions, things like that. What's that like, changing your team up and getting more people involved? How's that?
To be honest, we've only added 2 new members to the team.
Okay.
So we had 13. We've now gone up to 15.
Wow.
But to be honest, the integration of the crew, I've always been quite, what's the right word? I've always wanted the content to be the content. I've never wanted it to be distracting. Yeah. So you'll notice in my videos, you'll almost never see a cameraman in the videos.
Yeah.
Like, some people have cameramen in it. Like, actually, you see cameras.
Good guys do.
Sometimes it looks a bit messy. I don't like it really.
Okay.
So what we started to do this trip, or certainly last one, in Riyadh last week, was let's give the camera guys a bit of a voice, and let's let them chat. And the reason why we did it, believe it or not, so when we were over in West Palm Beach at the start of the year at what's called Teams Week, I got the opportunity to film with Brooks and Bryson. Brooks and John Rahm, sorry. And when we filmed with John Rahm on the green, we'd bought some new cameras, we'd upgraded our cameras, and we'd put boom mics on all of our cameras, as well as having correct audio, radio mics. Now, normally, we didn't have boom mics on. So if a cameraman spoke, you actually would never really hear him.
Yep.
So now we put boom mics on, and I had a really long put away, and we had a camera guy on John Rahm. And John Rahm turned to one of my camera guys, who's actually an Aussie, he's called Ben, said, do you think he's going to hold this? And Ben said, he's been putting really well. I think there's a huge chance of him holding this. Yeah. And I didn't know that interaction had taken place because I was over on the other side of the green. And I hit this great shot and it almost went in. And then John turned to Aussie Ben and said, wow, he did nearly hold it. And I went through the editing. I was like, I actually liked that. Yeah. Normally I'd cut it out because we couldn't hear the audio. Normally you wouldn't be able to hear that interaction. Yeah. And I saw it and I thought, I actually really liked that. That was actually quite a cool little bit. So then we said, well, in Riyadh, let's just explore that. Let's see what that looks like. And, there's a balance. I don't want it to be kind of too many characters, but just bringing, in Break 75, having a few more forfeits. When's this show going out?
Probably tomorrow.
So tomorrow I've got a Break 75 coming out.
Yeah.
When I filmed here on Sunday night.
With Chopper.
And with Chopper. With Ron Chopper. So we invited Ron.
We spoke to him yesterday.
He seems big over here.
He's a legend.
He's a good guy.
I've got a few questions we want to ask you about him a bit later.
So the forfeit for me for not breaking 75, I'm not going to give it away, but the forfeit on the line was a spoonful of Vegemite.
Oh, fantastic.
Just on its own.
Bit of butter?
Wow.
Okay. No, spoon, just in the... Now, again, I'm not going to give it away, but that forfeit was conjured up by my camera guys.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a little narrative
That's
in there,
right.
for the reason to bring them in. Because I'm never going to set that forfeit for myself.
I wouldn't do it to anyone.
So that video's coming out Friday to find out if I do a spoonful of Vegemite or not.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Exclusive here on Tee It Up.
Yeah.
Mate, when you joined LIV, you received some feedback, pretty heavy via socials. We chatted about it on the podcast. Like, ultimately, you think it's great for golf. Getting a guy like yourself in to bring us into the inner sanctum, fantastic. How did you deal with that? Like, we see on the small, tiny thing we are here in Australia, we get a little bit of feedback, but you're 99% positive in what you've done in the past. How have you dealt with sort of bit of the lashings you've copped in the clubhouse? I saw a few comments.
It's, it was expected.
Yeah.
We knew that it would happen as soon as you mentioned the word LIV. It definitely comes with a tidal wave of negativity.
Do you find that in the UK it's different?
No. Adelaide. Oh, Australia love LIV, right?
We love it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's the greatest thing ever.
That's what I mean. So I think UK and US audience aren't quite fully invested yet. I think they will do.
Come here, you'll love it.
So, we expected a bit of backlash.
Yeah.
I think I didn't expect as much was people thinking I was so anti-LIV.
Yeah. I honestly thought you were at the start.
At the start.
As a podcast listener of yours, I was like, oh, he doesn't like LIV. And then you joined LIV, I was like, oh.
But what's the separation, the time frame there? Because
it's 3 years.
That's what I would say over the time.
I change my mind every 2 days.
And listen, it was a big talking point, and it was probably easy to shoot at. At first, when brand new business, it's like, well, actually, I can take pops at this. It's fairly easy to take pops at something that's so early. But year on year, it has got better. Yeah. And year on year, when I've been to events, the events are unbelievable. Yeah. Like, they're sensational. And kind of year on year, I've grown to like it. And kind of now I'm even here, I'm kind of loving it.
You're
do you
the
know
man.
What I mean? So yeah, I think that probably a bit caught me by surprise. I felt like maybe more my own sentiment on LIV was a little bit more neutral.
Yeah.
Where I feel like some people might have twisted that as actually being slightly negative.
Okay.
But that's not particularly the case. It's just more constructive criticism. I want golf to do well. I want golf to succeed. I want all golf in any league or tour to succeed. Yeah. So kind of giving constructive feedback on a product, I think, was hopefully helping it develop and get better.
I agree.
But yeah, listen, what's been fascinating in that time frame since releasing the announcement video, which definitely had a slight tidal wave of negativity, so now actually releasing the content, it's literally flipped 180.
Picked a few up.
The comments is unbelievable.
Sorry, we watched
so positive
video last night. That was so good.
The comments are so good.
Yeah.
So I think people are kind of grasping it. They're understanding, this isn't me absolutely shoving LIV down the neck. Yeah. It's me having the opportunity to film with great players at greater venues. Yeah. Granted, it's LIV venues with LIV players, but that's it. I'm just showcasing what that looks like.
Well, LIV Golf has some of the great enigmas in world golf. When you look at like Brooks, for example, no one knows what he's like behind closed doors. And you did that video with Ryan and him, and he seemed like he warmed up the more you get going and things like that.
Brilliant.
It's so good, and we love that. And we need it, and it's really cool. What do you got?
Yeah, and just touching on talking about LIV Golf and how you change your mind and how that felt. So with YouTube golf, obviously there's what I like about it is there's sort of limited dead air. And I feel like LIV provides that. Is that sort of something that drew you to LIV throughout time? Like how it's always action, sort of like YouTube golf?
I almost borderline think it's too much action.
Okay, yep.
I actually wish they'd kind of... I think they are going to look at maybe doing it this year. It's hard because at first it's lots of shots, so you got to feature everyone. I'd like to see a little bit of narrative being pulled out of storylines.
Yeah.
If someone's doing really well, let's focus on that player a little bit more. My big criticism with some of the footage coverage is like, sometimes you'll see a shot, but then you don't see the player's reaction.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the player's reaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a shot, you see a player stood over a ball, you see a shot, the ball lands on the green, next person.
Yeah.
It's like, no, go back.
Yeah, I want to see the reaction.
I want to see his reaction.
Yeah.
And it might be muted, it might be animated, but I want to see it.
Yeah. And
I think if that can kind of get pulled out, there's lots of, you don't have to show every shot from every player, because the app itself, you can see every shot, any time. Little plug there, but like this is where my LIV hat now. But like you've got the coverage is like it's so action packed, but I do think you can kind of separate it a bit. The other thing, I think there's a live viewing experience. It's like no other golf
So
event.
good. Yeah.
You know, I'm
With the
really
shotgun
looking
start.
forward. Just yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't have to be there all day.
Yep.
Like when I've been to the Opens, I've been to 15 Opens, and I love the Open.
Yeah.
And similar to the Masters, like I've been to a couple of Masters. I love the Masters. But go in there, you feel like you've got to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning and leave at 11 o'clock at
It's a
night,
long
or you
day.
miss something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Long
mean?
day.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's no guarantee you're going to see the best players.
Yeah.
Certainly if you went on a Saturday or Sunday, some of them might miss the cut.
Mhm.
Where coming here, you can come on Sunday, and if you want to see Bryson DeChambeau hit a ball, you will see Bryson DeChambeau hit a ball, won't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
Because he's
good.
here, and you know what hole he's on, and you know where you can stand
Yeah,
to see him.
yeah.
Like it's a guarantee. And I think that part of it is a viewing experience, and the music and the atmosphere, and the fact it's a shotgun start at 12:45 here in Adelaide this week.
That's
It's
great.
like that's so much better. Like you don't have to get there at the crack of dawn. Like when I invited a few buddies of mine over to JCB last year to come and watch. They went and played golf in the morning.
Yeah, beautiful.
They then went to JCB, watched the golf, and they were like, "This is the best day ever."
Yeah, for sure. And then how about you? So being obviously a PJ professional, the chance to sort of live the life of a touring pro the first few weeks, how's that been like traveling along and playing all these courses with these great players?
I think it's going to really improve my game.
Yeah.
That's genuinely the first thing I've noticed. Like, I'm getting an opportunity to rub shoulders with incredible golfers all the time.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I have to continue to raise my game. You know, it's such a, you know, if you went and played at your local golf club with three guys who are better than you, your ability will improve.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
do that a lot, don't you?
I do actually. I do.
It will. It does happen though, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So
does.
for me to be able to go out each and every week and rub shoulders with these guys
Yep.
and learn from them and can try and compete with them.
Yep.
Already I've seen my game improve.
And it just
You know,
shows your weaknesses up a little bit more compared to
Correct.
them. Yeah.
and also I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm practicing more. Like on Saturday when I got here Friday, Saturday, spent 7 hours hitting balls.
Yeah. Wow.
I went over to Royal Adelaide,
Yep.
Oh,
did
nice.
about an hour and a half practice, hit balls on the range there, come over here, hit about an hour and a half of balls on the range here, went back over to Royal Adelaide, played 9 holes, little loop. I was like, that I felt like a tour pro just then.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
because I want to bring a good golf game.
Yeah,
you know,
for
I think it's much better when good
Yeah.
golf games get played on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Absolutely.
And we'd love to see you win some 10-shot challenges as well.
Well, I won against Wacko.
yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And I've got John Rahm. I'd filmed with him on Monday. That video's coming out on Monday next week.
So good.
So I won't give the result away, but I'm definitely playing better.
Yeah.
It is strong.
We might have to readjust the 10 shots.
Not that tee shot off the first with Waka. It was a bit worrying, mate.
I didn't double bogey the first.
No,
That
you
was
did. It was a
terrible.
great save.
And I should have made par. I 3-putted for a bogey. That was annoying.
Yeah.
Do you miss coaching?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I loved coaching. Like coaching for me was, I remember a few years ago, I would always say I'm a golf coach who does a bit of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never call myself a YouTuber.
Yeah.
That phrase was a phrase I'd never coined because it was like, it was almost a bit embarrassing at the time. Where now it's like,
Cool.
it's the number one buzzword, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
kids
for
at
sure.
school want to become YouTubers now.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
It is the same.
You know, I feel like my roots are in coaching. My roots is help people play better golf, and even now it still is like the content I'm making. I'm still trying to help people get better at golf,
Yeah.
and that might be not so much the technical aspect now, but what can we learn from these great players? Or actually, let me show you how much fun we can have on the golf course, and you can go and play golf yourself. So it's like to some degree, it's kind of encouraging people to play golf that hopefully they get better anyway.
Yeah. The process of joining LIV. So, you know, I've spoken to Leash. We've had Herbie on Lee Westwood last year, and we spoke about how they joined. How was it from your perspective as a content creator, golf coach, joining LIV? Or how did that all come about, and how did they approach you, if you can share it?
Conversation started taking place in February last year.
Yep.
So almost a year ago. And we were actually looking to launch the partnership in July last year.
Wow.
And lots of back and forth, lots of discussions of how it could work for both sides, and you know what does the deal look like, and you know, once we kind of got past that July phase, and we said, okay, we're going to miss JCB because we wanted to launch it at JCB UK.
Oh, that would have been
So
awesome.
that would have kind of worked,
Yeah.
obviously, for me and my location.
Absolutely.
And then once we kind of missed that, I was like, well, actually, let's reset. Let's get the deal absolutely nailed on, and let's kick it off in January
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah.
So it was quite a long negotiation. I went out to New York a few times and had meetings with the main guys from LIV. Played golf with Greg Norman at Turnberry the week of the Open, so
Wow.
the Sunday of the Open. when it was at Royal Troon. I went down the road and played with Greg Norman. That morning it was pretty special. So like I say, it's just been everyone just wanted the best out of it and understand how can each side benefit. And that's kind of where we got to.
So good, mate. I think it's it's the way forward and the way golf's moving. On every episode of our podcast, do you have any other questions, Brad?
No, I'm happy to move into the rapids.
Okay, we do some rapid fire questions, but they're normally the longest part of the pod.
Okay.
We're going about 10 minutes, 12 minutes here. So since joining LIV, which city and golf course are you most looking forward to getting to and having a look at?
I mean, this was right at the top.
Yeah.
It was, honestly.
Nice.
So I'd heard such great things about Adelaide. And like I say, I've only been to Australia once 10 years ago.
Queensland. Top end up to Queensland.
I went to Brisbane and Sydney. I've got friends and family over there. Went and played golf at Hamilton Island.
Oh, wow.
So that was the last time I've been to Oz, and I've been desperate to come back. I was almost back here in December for the Oz Open.
Yeah,
I was going to look at.
I'll talk to Ryan Ruffles
Yeah,
about that.
We were hoping to try and make something work, but kind of what Ryan didn't know is I had this deal in the pipeline. And
he messaged me when it came out. He goes, "This maybe is why."
I was kind of like, I can't really do Australia in December and then come back in Feb. Yeah. So this was up there. I'm really looking forward to going Hong Kong next. Yeah. Somewhere I've never been.
Cool.
Singapore, I've never been.
Wow.
That golf course is supposed to be spectacular, but it's supposed to be hotter than here.
Yeah.
Stinking hot.
Yeah.
And then where else was where I'm looking forward to going to? South Korea. Golf over there is huge. Okay. Mexico. I've not been to Mexico.
Have you not played all these places before?
No, I've not been to any of them. And in America, I've been to America loads of times, but there's loads of places on the America lineup I've never been to.
Yeah.
Going playing Trump Doral in Miami. That golf course is supposed to be insane and really hard. Yeah. Not played golf in Chicago or Indianapolis. All these are new places for me. So, I love to travel. I think it's given me a schedule, which I've never had before. Yeah. I know where I am all the way till August. That's awesome. Then I'll have some time off and chill out in September and spend some, go on holiday with the family a little bit or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of, again, give me a bit of respite because we've filmed so much great content that gives me the luxury to have a bit of chill time.
So good, mate.
So the off season will be a bit more relaxed, and I'm going to do some off season content with the players as well, like maybe go out to the homes and do a little bit of off season content as well. And just continue to try and push the boundaries of kind of YouTube golf.
It's phenomenal.
So you've met some obviously incredible people throughout your career. So sort of two parts of this question: who hits it the best? And then the second part is there anybody who's made you feel quite starstruck when you've met them?
I think Min Woo Lee hits it the best.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love that.
He absolutely rips it. I always think this.
For a small guy.
He's unbelievable. And I filmed with him quite a few years ago, so he's probably got even better now.
Yeah.
But when I get the opportunity to play with these tour pros and they'll hit a shot, apart from, let's say, Bryson hitting a drive, but most of the guys will hit a shot and I think to myself, wow, that's spectacular. Maybe give me 50 attempts and I could probably hit that shot.
Yeah.
That's in there somewhere. Yeah. I just can't do it on demand like you've just done it, but it's in there.
Yeah.
The shots that Min Woo Lee was hitting, you could give me 1,000 shots and I couldn't hit that shot.
Was it just like the windows he was hitting or was it just the sound?
Yeah. The sound, the windows, the speed, the creativity, the short game. I was like, doesn't matter. You give me a bucket full of balls and all day, I can't do that shot. Cool. Yeah. And he's probably the only one that's made me kind of feel like that, to be honest. And I was probably the most starstruck with Sergio Garcia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because again, through my era of playing golf, apart from maybe Phil and Tiger, I actually met Phil on the first tee the other day. That was a pretty cool experience. Because obviously he's now embracing YouTube golf as well with what he's doing with Grant. It's really cool. And he was really welcoming when I spoke to him yesterday. But Sergio is like, this is someone I've literally lived growing up watching. This is Sergio Garcia, and certainly European. He is like our Ryder Cup hero.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the most decorated Ryder Cup player ever, and
you forget, don't you?
Yeah, well, you guys probably do. You don't think about the Ryder Cup so much.
I'm big on the Ryder Cup.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
But you look at that and think, and I went to his house and had dinner, and we went and played, and it was like, is this real life? What the hell?
Yeah,
and
awesome.
That's happened a million times this last week, even just unbelievable opportunities.
Yeah, mate. You played with Australia's very own Ron Chopper recently here at the Grange, and we had a chat with him last night. But what we want, and we've played with him in videos with Ronnie before, and we want you to rate his game, strengths, weaknesses. What do you give us a synopsis of Ron Chopper?
Well, I'm going to be dead frank and honest. I hadn't watched a lot of Ron Chopper.
Okay, that makes two of us. No, joking.
I hadn't watched a lot of him. Ben, our Australian cameraman,
Yeah.
who lives in the UK now, every lunchtime in the office, he puts him on.
He's
Yeah,
a
wow.
legend, mate.
So in our office,
Yeah.
we have Ron Chopper on at lunchtime. And people having lunch or they'll be having, doing stuff. And
Yeah.
this guy, Ron Chopper's on the TV.
Probably been on in the rickshaw.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
So I've kind of know of him, but
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. So when Ben knew we were coming to here, he's like, please, can I ask Ron Chopper to come and join us?
Yeah.
And I said, go on then. Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
not? It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I watched a bit more of his content. And he played here on another video
with Crystal.
with
yeah.
with,
Crystal
a, with
Plum.
a
Yeah.
female pro.
Yeah.
And so we invited him. And he thought it was a stitch up. He didn't think it was real.
Him and Jolie are very funny, man.
Yeah, he didn't think it was real. But he was great. I think his strengths,
Be brutal.
well, his weaknesses is his putting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I know, I'll tell you that. No, his weaknesses is his bloody mental game. Do you know what he's called his putter?
Not this time.
Missy. Is
Miss.
It now? Yeah.
He's changed it. Missy.
Miss.
Missy. Yeah.
Like, come on, is that not someone who's
Yeah.
totally tapped with his
He's
putting?
so good.
Yeah.
Like, how can you call a putter miss?
Yeah.
So I think his putting was pretty weak, but to be honest, he did hold a few putts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his game was good.
Hits
You
it
know,
good.
Yeah, he hits it
He's a
good.
big guy.
Yeah, he hits it. He was tall, much taller than I
Very tall.
expected.
Yeah.
It's something I must admit people say about me. And as soon as I saw him outside the clubhouse here on a really early morning tee off on Sunday, I was like, bloody hell, you're massive.
Yeah, big unit.
But yeah, he came around for barbecue that night, and
Oh, great.
as Matt,
Yes. Yeah.
don't know if I'm giving too much, you know,
Yeah,
his-
no, I know it's Matt. Yeah, yeah.
Matt
you
Heath.
know Matt, don't you?
Yeah, we know Matt.
Matt.
As in Matt,
Yeah.
Ron Matt. Is that
As
what you
in-
mean?
Have I just broke your heart?
Matt.
You not know Matt?
As in Matt Ron. Yeah, is that what we're talking
Matt
about?
Heath. As in, yeah, we know Matt.
Yes, yes.
Oh no, I just didn't. I thought I just told you like
As
the
his
Tooth
name.
Fairy wasn't real or something.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
He's
no,
been
we
on
know-
our pod a few times.
No, we
mate.
know
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
Yes. No, yeah,
That's
good.
far
I think
out.
what's going on
We're
here?
going, should we know something?
Yeah, I'm like, we missed something here.
I didn't know Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt Heath.
I didn't know him. I didn't know Ron.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Now I know Ron and Matt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you call him Ron all the time, or do you just
I
slip
did, yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, when I
do the
around
same.
at the barbecue, I was like,
Yeah.
I've honestly forgot his proper
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. That's
But yeah, it was good,
fantastic.
really good. And Joel was great as well.
Oh, Jolie,
Yeah, good.
he was very excited, man. He was. You were
He gets
kidding me.
called. Does he get called the Wish version of me or something?
Oh.
Some
Oh, I
team
guess,
new version
yeah,
of
I
me.
can see that.
Someone
He'd
said.
call himself that,
Yeah.
I reckon.
He looks
Jolie.
like Tyler from Dude Perfect, and ever since I saw that, I couldn't stop
Yeah,
looking at
right.
it.
He's got a strong beard game, Joel. Very nice beard.
Yeah, it has.
So speaking of mental weaknesses with Ron, have you ever had a big meltdown on the golf course?
Oh,
Off
God,
camera.
Not got,
Off
not got
camera?
enough time. Yeah, there's been a couple of times. We have released a video in the end, but there's been a couple of times where I've finished the video and going, this video's never seen the light of day.
Yeah.
We need to see
Like-
more of that, Rick.
Yeah,
the
I like it.
meltdowns.
No,
No,
I'm
it's
happy
not
now.
you.
I'm living the life now. I don't need to worry as much anymore.
Fucking whack.
If I lose a Pro V, it doesn't really matter
Yeah,
anymore. No, I'm joking.
yeah.
Another
But
one.
like,
Tin cup.
but like, I'm definitely a bit more relaxed this year. Like,
Yeah.
I'm wanting to enjoy my golf. Like,
great,
at the end of the day, bad shots happen.
Yeah.
So what? Like, I think I put too much pressure on myself last few years, and
Yeah.
was trying to compete and trying to be something. I'm like, no one
Yeah.
wants to see that.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
want to see people having fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you get a bad shot, just laugh it off.
Yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable. Some advice you've got throughout your 13 years as a content creator and a golf coach and trying to manage all that. What's the best advice that you've received or you sort of live by?
I don't know if it's something I've received, but something that we always kind of say internally is like innovate or die.
Yeah.
And that's something we've always tried to do. Like this feels like an innovation. Like
Yeah.
we feel
Yeah.
like making this move was us innovating.
Mhm.
Not that we had to do this or die, but it was like, I think people can get a bit stuck in the ways. And I felt a bit like that last
Yeah.
few years. I was a bit like, I feel like I'm kind of doing something similar. I need something like new and
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
So like this kind of idea of innovation, I think that was really key for
Yeah.
us. And we've always had that on the channel, whether it was from the early days of making club coaching videos to club reviews, then going playing wonderful golf courses or testing out illegal golf clubs or
Yeah.
filming with
Yeah.
tour pros. Like each one has felt like an evolution.
Yeah.
And like this, where this kind of next chapter feels like an evolution. So that's been my big thing. Try and be different, try and be unique, have great audio. You don't have to worry about visuals too much. Have great audio and just make good content. Make content that you would watch yourself.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think that's kind of my best tips.
So good. Look, you've been so generous with your time, and we'll finish up here, but mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Been admiring you for a long time. We're just a tiny golf podcast here in Australia trying to grow the game.
Good on you.
We get young tour pros on. We get guys like yourself on, Ruffles, like
Love that.
all these guys, and yeah, we're just trying to go to the game. So without you doing what you did, we probably wouldn't be able to do this. So appreciate your time.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thanks so
It's
much.
been
Thanks,
Really
unbelievable.
fellas.
appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Rick.